Hey guys, today we're going to talk about the Nitecore EC22. Once again, a very, very simple light to use, no modes to memorize, no clicks or anything, just simple, turn it on, turn the knob, that simple. 0 to 1,000 lumens with just a turn of a knob. It's actually a very stiff, rigid knob, so it's not going to turn on in your pocket. Haven't had it yet, at least. So let's take a look at the packaging real quick and what you get for your money. You can see here, it comes in the standard Nitecore package. Inside, there's a business card. You have your instructions, which really don't need because there's not a ton going on here. It does take an 18650, as it says, 0 to 100 lumens. It looks like you can use CR122s as well. So your typical kind of 185 meter beam, 1 meter impact resistance, and IPX8, waterproof standard. Comes with a lanyard, sheath, which isn't too shabby. It's actually relatively thick, nice kind of ballistic nylon, and your plastic case. So, alright, let's get back to business here. With all that said, we're done. No, we can't be done after a minute. This isn't my sex life. Alright, so as I said, we do have this little controller button here. It's kind of like almost like a little kind of seashell shaped thing. It goes from very, very low, and at very low you do have a donut, and up to very high. What's the matter with you? Alright, so you see the pocket clip's actually very well done. It's a nice thick pocket clip, good relief in there. You do have the capability to tail stand and a hollow in here, in which it collects a lot of pocket lint. But you could also put a magnet in there if you want to turn this into a magnetic base, which is kind of cool. I like that they left that hollow, because I do fully intend to find a magnet for that. So when you open it up, take a look at this first, because they're threads are actually very nicely cut. They're kind of almost like a trapezoidal shape to them. They're not perfectly square. Well lubed, nice O-ring on there, and you can see that the threads are also anodized, so you can lock it out. I just put their brand. It comes with a battery, and it's just a kind of a cheapo Nitecore 2300 milliamp hour. Of course, you'll get much better out of the rest. Machining here, you could probably lap this and get a little better contact out of that, which is just put it on some sandpaper and lap that flat. It does seem to be a little bit ridged, but not the. It's definitely not the worst I've ever seen, but not the best. But if you really want like top super performance out of it, that is something you can do to mod it to make it do what you want. Take a look at the front end. This one's machined a little better and is a little flatter, so you probably wouldn't need to do that there. Once again, very nicely well lubed threads. You can see here your front plate has a plastic protector on it. That is basically an anti-polarity protector. That way you do need to use a button top battery. You could, if you were brave enough, remove that and use flat tops with this thing. Just that little piece of plastic. It's probably just glued in. So it's up to you. You know how bad you want to destroy and void the warranty of your light. For me, I have plenty of button tops, so it's not an issue. But if you are a flat top fanatic, that is something you want to do. You will note that you can lock the light out by turning the either of the connectors, and that will lock the light out, so you don't have to worry about it coming on. Say if you have it loose in a backpack or something like that. Some good added benefits of having this kind of disc system is it's not a ring. A lot of lights that do this use a ring, and those rings are very easy to get caught on things in your pocket. This is not caught on anything in my pocket yet, and is not turned on without my express written permission. Who also mentioned very nice anti-reflective clear glass in here. Very nice. I mean, you can see there's pretty much no reflection on that at all. I mean, I got studio lights right here, guys. I mean, this is, you can see it there at that angle, but that's very low. That's actually very, very good anti-reflective glass. You can see you have a very small, shallow reflector on there as well, which is really that's kind of what gives it its beam. And you can see does have a hot spot with an outer edge to it. So it does. The hot spot's not the most well defined. You can see it's kind of squarish. You know, so if you are a white wall hunter that wants this perfect beam for your Instagram photos, this isn't going to be the light for you, to be honest, because it is, you know, like I said, this is a very shallow reflector. So you can see you get that donut hole there as well. So back to the switch. So the switch is very kind of like, it takes an effort, but there's also enough texturing on it where you're not going to turn it on accidentally, but you have enough grip where you can do this even when it's wet. You know, I did wet this thing down because I was a little worried about it, so I wet it down, got my hands wet, and I can turn this on and off with wet hands. So operation, you know, is very easy, one-handed. Pocket clip's okay. It rides a little high for me. I don't like that much flashlight sticking out of my pocket, but it is a good pocket clip. It's nice and solid. It sticks to the light well. You can remove it, so that is one thing, but it's a decent pocket clip. It just, in my opinion, rides too high. What else are we going to do and talk about here? Oh, yes, you do have the crenulated bezel as well, which is really kind of nice because you can kind of use the light as a little bit of a beacon if you have to. It's really kind of a waste of energy to do it full blast, but you'd be surprised if you're out, you know, in the dark and you put just a very low amount and do that, you can see that from quite a ways away out in the woods. You know, so if you set your flashlight down, you're doing some work and you set it down, you can find your flashlight. You know, and then is this really a strike bezel? Yeah, sure, you could probably hit someone with it, but you know, I think it's really more useful as just that capability not to put it down. All right, some benefits of this system versus your normal flashlights. I think one big benefit is that you don't have any PWM. They are able to keep pulse width modulation, which is those vertical banding lines that you see when you have a light and low. You're not going to have these in your low modes because it uses a potentiometer to control the output. So yes, you don't have that banding or the flickering that you see in the light, so that is one bonus to the system. And two, there's no modes. This is very simple, very easy. I can hand this to my wife, my son, anyone, and they can figure out how to use this. Yeah, they're going to try and push the button first, but other than that, this is a very easy to figure out flashlight and easy to use. Value-wise, this is not horribly expensive. I think at the time of filming, this is like 30-something bucks, really affordable for what it is. You know, a decent 18650 tube light. And you know, guys, that's the thing is there's guys out there who love flashlights that have a ton of different modes, a ton of different options, and can do anything. And there's guys out there who say, screw them, they're a bunch of jerks. I really want a simple flashlight. I just want to turn it on and off. And the single mode flashlights, you know, do fairly well. In fact, I think Surefire makes a whole bunch of them, and they're very successful. And some manufacturers do them, and they tend to be hit or miss. But you know, one of the big things here is the simplicity. This is something you can put in your car and not have to remember. Say this is your designated car flashlight, and it's been 6 months since you touched it. You go to pick it up. You don't have to, oh, geez, is it 2 clicks to get into this, or is it a long press? Do I long press to turn it off, or do I double click? You know, none of that. Just on, off, simple. So it's good for those leave and forget lights that you put in your desk at work, or you put in the car, or you put in your survival kits. It really does make for that. And then the versatility of the amount of light that comes out of this, you know, from really, you know, a low moonlight all the way up to your full 1000 blast lumens, you know, is pretty good. Like I said, the beam is not the prettiest if you're hunting on a white wall, but when you bring it outside at night, the beam actually looks very nice, very clear. The tint is very decent. You can see it's a pretty good white, you know, kind of cool white, you know, nothing crazy. It's not neutral or warm by any means, but it's a decent cool white, maybe a hint of green to it when I kind of put it on the wall here, but that's really nitpicking, guys. So but yeah, overall a decent beam and not bad. So hopefully you've seen some good footage cut in here as we've been doing this, and not a bad little light. Like I said, guys, the mods I'm going to make, I'm going to lap that end for better contact, and I'm going to put a magnet in here to make this a little bit of a work light. So overall, cool light, very nice, and very simple, easy to use light, which is what a lot of guys want for their kits and all that. So definitely one to consider.